Hello, and welcome to another episode of eBay Scavengers. I am Mikey, and today with me is Jay. What's going on, Jay?
Hey, Mikey.
And this is episode 74, and we're talking about automatic returns and automated feedback. So, Jay, you don't use automated returns.
Nope.
And I do use automated returns on eBay.
Right.
And I know you have a pretty good list of why you don't, why you've been reluctant to turn that feature on. And I guess I'll start with my experience with it, so you can kind of comment on, how you feel about it. So Woody and I turned on automated returns a few months ago with eBay, and it's more than that. It's probably about 6 months, maybe even 8 months ago. And we haven't had a lot of trouble with it. So we have had buyers buy an item and have an issue, like they'll buy a sweater and say, this sweater fits more like a large, even though it says medium. I'm going to go ahead and send it back to you.
Real quick, so why don't you explain how it works so people don't know how it works?
Okay, so automatic returns is someone buys an item from us on eBay, and once they receive it, if they have any issue with the item, they can click automatically return to buyer. They can go through this process, and they don't have to talk to me. So the buyer can ship it right back to the seller without speaking to me at all. They can print the shipping label at home.
Wow.
If there was a mistake made on my part, the buyer can claim that I pay the return postage as well as the sending postage. So I'm basically paying postage twice if the mistake was on my part. And the return system is pretty clear about that, and I haven't had buyers abuse that, where they're charging me even though the issue was more on their side.
Right.
And generally they ship the items back much faster, and there's really no communication on my part besides I click when I receive the item.
Right.
That's pretty much the process.
I mean, how many people have actually sent it back and blamed you guys when it's your fault? How many times has it happened?
I don't know if that has happened.
Okay.
There's been situations where someone bought an item, and I'd name the specific item if it came to mind, but they've bought the item, and they've decided that they don't want it, and they go to start the automatic return process. Mm-hmm. They don't even contact me. They just start the automatic return process, and I'll write to them right away and say, hey, you know what? I don't want this item sent back to me, so let me give you a discount.
Yeah. Or
let me just give you a refund, because otherwise I'll pay postage on the way back if that was something on my side I made a mistake on. So I'll intercept the automatic return and turn it into a manual kind of process if it's something I don't want to pay the shipping to be returned.
And are you finding that more people are sending stuff back now that they don't have to talk to you?
I wouldn't say that. No, it's not more. I think it's the same amount, and I think it actually is saving me time on the communication. Because this is someone who, if we didn't have automatic returns, what would happen is they would buy the item, and then there'd be this dialogue between us, like, oh, I'm sorry, this doesn't fit. And you, Jay, I know you're the person that handles this in your store, so you're doing all the wordsmithing.
Right.
You're doing the, like, I'm the best eBay seller ever in terms of customer service. So I'm happy to not have to do that mental exercise with the buyer and just let this be an automatic thing.
Now, do you think that the automated returns helps avoid getting bad feedback or a neutral feedback?
I'm not sure if it helps too much. I think it makes things a little bit easier on the buyer because they can print that label at home. Because a lot of buyers aren't used to doing postage, and it's a little confusing to go to the post office or they don't want to, take the time out of their day to go to the post office and ship an item because, that's not what they do like us. So I haven't had bad feedback because of the automatic return process. I think the risk with automated returns is more about if you're selling items which aren't that valuable, shipping can kind of screw you up, because it's hard to ship things for under $5 depending on clothing and stuff. And once you start looking at the send shipping and the return shipping, that's $10. Our average item price is typically $30. So even if you relist the item, you're not going to make much off it on the next sale. So
now, if you do free shipping on eBay, eBay automatically gives you 5 stars on shipping. time, I think. If you do automated returns, is there like a setting where you get automatic 5 stars, like communication or something?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't see that. I think my guess would be in the future, eBay is going to require this for top-rated seller. That would be my guess, that at some point they'll just make this, hey, you want to be a top-rated seller? You have to do automatic return.
Right. It seems like eBay in their template now, when you go to an item page, they have these highlighted items, and I bet one of those things might be, the fact that you can send things back easily. I bet they have a term for it, like fast and free, or it's no hassle return or something. So
right. Jay, I think something you might be interested in about automated returns is it's not clear to the buyer that they can do an automated return. Right? That's not something like sometimes people want to return stuff and they mail me, they send a message through eBay messages saying, I'd like to return this item, it doesn't fit right. They don't realize that they could have done an automatic return. And it's hard for me to describe how they could do it because I've never used it from the buyer side. You know what I mean? I can't really walk them through it.
Right.
So some people just know how to use it and other people don't, but it's not the most obvious of things.
So it's maybe eBay's just trying to educate people that it's actually real. Okay, why don't I give my side of this? I'm a pretty positive guy on eBay, so I'm not trying to be it's negative here, but I just don't really see all the facts where it's good for us as a seller. So eBay started this automatic returns about the same time when they really pushed people to do free shipping. And I think that the reason why they did that is they saw Amazon is starting to eat their lunch, and they're like, we need to be like Amazon. Fast, next day shipping, no hassle, guarantee. And I think that's what they're really trying to push people. And we tried the free shipping when that first started, and it was just ridiculous. It's like it's not a fair game for a seller, especially if you're selling things that are weird sizes and too big, and they just say, well, just put the cost of the shipping in the item itself. It's just not good for us. And so we stopped doing free shipping very quickly, and we didn't even touch automated returns because I just don't think it's good for us as sellers. We we sell very funky, weird, it's one of a kind, kind of unique items. And we like to, or at least I do, I like to talk to the people that buy our stuff. So if someone doesn't like something, I'm glad to take it back, but I just want them to tell me. And I want to kind of have a little bit of a conversation about it because 20% of the time, I can kind of talk them out of it. Either they don't understand exactly what they were getting, or they don't know how it works. Or like you said, I can offer, let me give you $10 back, and that's all that they need. I just don't like the idea that, we could be shipping typewriters and art, and just I'd get an automatic email that the thing's coming back. And then, even worse would be if they were to say that we had done something wrong and we have to eat $20, $30 in shipping fees. That just seems like, it would just drive me crazy. So that's why we've kind of stayed out of it. Go.
It's important to keep in mind that once they start the automated return, it still takes them quite a while to ship the item. Even if they can print it, they're going to have it for the next 24 hours probably in their hands. I'll just create a dialogue with the person.
Right.
If it doesn't seem appropriate, or if it seems like we could work something out. It really depends on the item. But in other cases, I'm glad not to have that dialogue.
Yeah. So well, real quick. So if you have to, like, if someone says that you did something wrong, how do you fight that? Like, does eBay have a process?
Depends. So let's say I ship a vintage radio, and it gets to the person. They said, hey, you said this radio works, but it doesn't work. At that point, I'll say, hey, just keep the radio or throw it away. I'll refund you, right? Or, we'll work it out regardless. Like, it's not going to be like, here comes a dead radio shipping back to me.
Yeah.
So that's how we work it out. It's a per item basis. I'll intercept the return and basically override it and cancel the return process if we can come to that agreement. So like I said, I got a day at least to resolve it with the buyer.
You know what? If eBay, eBay may very well be starting to push us all towards this entryway, and that would be automatic as returns that we're all going to have to go through at some point, and we'll probably embrace it at that time. I just think right now I don't see any problem with us selling stuff by not having it turned on. And and it's like I said, I'm not afraid to take things back. We even print a little flyer that we put in its package that has our names and has our faces on it, and we say we will take an item back for any reason at all. So we're very clear about that. Again, we just like to have a conversation with people. So
I don't know if you're a buyer like I am, but when I buy things from Amazon, just personal stuff for myself, I return that stuff all the time.
Yeah. See, I was about to say that. Like that is one reason why I'm afraid and why I'm really I'm kind of surprised that hasn't happened to you. I mean, we even talk about it today. We're like, we're going to buy a sink, a faucet, and we were like, yeah, why don't we just buy it on Amazon? And if we don't like it, we'll just send it back. It's like. That's
absolutely,
and that must drive people crazy.
I think it's something more about like newer items, though. I'll give you an example. I wanted to try out a Wi-Fi extender just to push our Wi-Fi to different areas. Right, it was actually for a business down the road.
Right.
So Amazon sells 30 types of Wi-Fi extenders.
Right.
So I bought 5 of them and returned 4 of them. Right. And these are like new in box with all the packaging and all. And I unhook it all and make them all like not so new in box,
Right. See, that's why I don't want to do it. So it's maybe with like a vintage stuff, people aren't like that. But I know when I'm on forums where people are selling on Amazon, they all complain about that because Amazon is pushing their sellers to compete on price. So they all have the same exact item, same brand new item. They all buy it from China, and then they have the same picture. They all, share the same one. They all have to compete on price. So they're just like, they're making pennies on the dollar. So I can imagine if there was even a small percentage of people that send stuff back, it must eat into their profit like crazy.
I must destroy them because I bought a juicer the other week, and I used the juicer, returned that, didn't like that at all,
And so
I don't know
what
they
take
do with that used juicer.
So do they just take it back? I mean, they don't say anything, they don't complain. Or...
I don't talk to anyone. Wow. You know what? All they look for, all Amazon wants in those cases, is they want to know that it arrived at Amazon's destination address. Wow. So when I go to return it, I print a label from home. I have to pay the shipping because I'm the one returning it for good reason, right?
Right.
They just want to know that it reached the Amazon drop point, the tracking number. As soon as USPS gives them the tracking, you're good. You get a refund 3 days later, or whatever priority mail takes time-wise.
That's really that's really interesting. I wonder if behind those Amazon warehouses, if there's just a pile of junk every day that people are just throwing. That's interesting,
Yeah, there must be. We got to go find one of those warehouses because you can go find my juicer and all my Wi-Fi extenders out back.
Okay,
right. So Jay, is there anything else that you're concerned with on returns?
No, I'm not going to do it till I have to. So that's my thumbs down. Okay, so it's next thing we're going to talk about. To me, is brainer though, and that's automatic feedback. And for anyone it's new, eBay still has a reputation. A system where if you buy and sell something online, you can leave a feedback and you can give them thumbs up or thumbs down if it's buying an item. And for a seller, eBay took it away about 5 years ago. You could leave bad feedback for a buyer, but they took it away because they were finding that people were going to a war with each other, where sellers would leave really bad feedback for a buyer. The buyer would have to fight them, and it was not a good system, especially now that, buying online is so popular. There's too much competition now to make a environment where someone buying something has to kind of feel like they have to fight back. So now, as a seller, I can only leave positive feedback. So what we do is that eBay has a thing where you can automate it. So for us, when someone pays for an item, we automatically leave feedback, and it's good. Like, thanks for buying, you're a great person. And we don't we don't do anything.
You're the best.
Yeah, we don't do anything because before we automated it. Every time someone would buy, eBay would give you they'd send you a message like, you need to leave this good feedback. And it was just something we'd have to set time aside for every week to do. So that's how we do it now.
Right. And if you don't do it, some of the buyers will write to you and say, hey, I'd really like the feedback that I paid you on time. So I guess kind of the downside of automated feedback, and you can't really do anything anyway, is like some buyers aren't that great, right?
Yeah.
And some buyers don't pay for an item for 9 days. You got to call them.
Yeah. I mean, even buyers that give us bad feedback every so often, we still, we've automatically, as soon as they pay, it's for give them good feedback. So there's no way for us to warn a seller that it's this person's bad news. And it's unfortunate, but that's just how it is,
So one thing I really like about automated feedback, and I use it as well, is I can tell the buyer when I ship the item that I've already given them positive feedback. Yep. So they already know, like, there's another level of trust there, that I've already given them a +1 on their feedback, and they'll and I say, please do the same for me once you receive your item. In fact, I don't think I even say once you receive your item. And some people give me positive feedback before the item even ships.
Yeah, every so often that happens, right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's just like the buy it now, where they or the best offer, where they offer more than the asking price, which is my favorite.
I mean, on our blog, we get this a lot, where people ask us how they get more people to leave them good feedback. And really, I can't find anything to speed that up. It's about 30% of people that buy from us leave us feedback, period. It doesn't go up or down.
How about the note? Are you into that?
I mean, so
like
we
doing a note in the package.
Right, we do the note in the package. I mean, I'm sure it must do something, but it's about 30% of buyers, and we can't get it to get any higher than that. I mean, we've tried everything. And
now, Jay, when you buy things off eBay, just as a consumer shopper for yourself, do you leave feedback for the seller?
I am the worst.
You don't do it?
I never leave feedback.
I don't do it either.
Right. And
I don't do it.
I mean, I never leave feedback, and I'm like probably a lot of people. The only time I ever think about leaving feedback is if I'm angry, and that's the worst. Like I'm honestly a good online seller. I'm good, but you know what? I'm the worst buyer because I'm very picky.
No.
Like I will write people if I don't like their shipping charges. Like if I think it's too much, I'm very particular. I'm the worst. So.
Right.
I'm a madman.
Yeah, well, I'm the worst for Amazon. I'll just buy it all and return it.
Yeah. Ultimately, though, I think that's the easiest way. So if you're starting on eBay, you're getting your store started, there's a lot of stuff to do. Leaving feedback, honestly, also, a buyer really doesn't care. Because they're buying an item, they don't care what you're going to say. Because how many ways can I say, I like you, thank you for buying? There's no other way.
Right.
So they aren't reading it.
Well, okay, there's a funny thing.
Yeah.
With automated feedback, it allows you to have different messages.
Yeah.
So you can say, like, you're the best, or this buyer's number one, or, this buyer is extra tall, or I don't know. You can just say, it'll just put in a random message, right?
Huh.
Like it'll round robin between the 5 different messages you have.
Wow.
And you can use the stock eBay ones, which are funny.
Yep.
I don't know.
I like the
How about the ones where they got like little the stars and the chains and stuff? Is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah, I was gonna say the people that take time and they build like these pictures out of like stars and hyphens.
Yeah, the ASCII art.
Right.
Right.
It'd be interesting
I don't do any of that crap.
I think it'd be interesting to do an experiment where you put in like really strange things where it's going to be positive, but it's going to be like very like confusing to people. Like, I have a secret, please contact me.
That's such a scammy one, right?
Like the thing that you bought is just the beginning.
Yeah. Well, I hope we can continue to foster this relationship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I'll be there next week at 5:00.
I really like this buyer.
You're now my favorite person. We will never be apart.
Stay in touch. Yeah. Oh, all right, check this out. This is one of my favorites. I sent a mouse to Russia, and it took 3 months to get there. It was terrible. It took forever. And the guy wrote me when he got his mouse, and he's like, "Thank you very much for the mouse. Come to Russia." So I don't know. Maybe that's a crash pad option. I don't know. I sold him a mouse, so we have a connection.
Dude, that would be my dream, is that if there was a merger between eBay and Airbnb where you can rent apartments, I would love to trade vintage items for apartments in other countries. That would be so awesome.
That's funny. Well, I wonder what you would get for a leather bomber jacket in Italy. It's probably not much.
You never know. All right,
Jay. Well, so that's our automatic returns and automated feedback podcast, episode 74. And if you want to comment on this podcast, go ahead, head over to ebayscavengers.com and go ahead and leave us some feedback on the episode post in the comments. So, all right. Thanks.
See you, Mikey. Bye.